At 3:07 a.m., my smart speaker whispered a word. Not in my voice, not in anyone's voice I knew. Just one word. Access. Seconds later, my fridge lit up. Not with food, with numbers. My bank account on the fridge screen. And in that moment, I realized the break-in wasn't outside my door. It was already inside my home.
They say nightmares start in the dead of night. Mine started earlier. Quiet, ordinary, almost forgettable. The hum of my fridge was the only sound in the kitchen that night. Then it stuttered. The touchscreen on the door flickered, just once, like an old TV losing signal. A digital ripple cut across the display before it went back to normal. I leaned in, frowning. Weird. It was past midnight, the whole house silent. I tapped the screen, thinking maybe the Wi-Fi lagged. My grocery list popped up like always, nothing strange. But then the fridge door light blinked. Once, twice, 3 times in perfect rhythm. I froze. That wasn't normal. Fridges don't blink. I laughed under my breath and shut the door. Probably the bulb going bad. But as I turned to leave, the light came on again, by itself. A sharp beam cut across the kitchen floor, like it was following me out. At 1:17 a.m., my phone buzzed on the nightstand. New device joined your Wi-Fi. Unknown. I rubbed my eyes. A neighbor? Someone stealing my internet? I opened the router app, tried to block it. The app froze, then crashed. Tried again, nothing. From the kitchen, the fridge hummed louder. By 1:25 a.m., my thermostat dropped 3 degrees on its own. The air in the house turned cold, the kind of cold that seeps into your chest. Then the smart TV in the living room lit up with static, just for a second, before shutting off. I sat up in bed, pulse racing. Okay, something's wrong. I went for the router, yanked at the plug, and that's when the smart speaker in the corner of my bedroom came alive. White noise hissed out, sharp and sudden. I froze. From down the hall, I could see the fridge glowing again. Its display no longer showed my calendar or groceries, just a black screen. And on it, a single blinking cursor. Waiting.
Like someone was typing right there in my kitchen. My throat tightened. "It's just a bug," I whispered. "Just a bug." But I didn't believe it, because deep down I knew this wasn't my fridge anymore. I don't know what time I finally drifted off. Maybe an hour after that glitch. But the sound that woke me wasn't a dream. The smart speaker. It crackled to life on its own. A hiss of static, faint at first, then sharper, filling the bedroom like a bad radio signal. I sat up, heart pounding. The little ring on top glowed blue, though I hadn't said a word. Then, beneath the static, I heard it. A voice. Not clear, not full words, just fragments, broken syllables. A whisper that didn't sound human. Bank, open, mine. I froze in place, staring at the speaker like it had grown eyes. I said, "Stop," my voice shaking. The glow vanished instantly. Silence. But when I glanced at my phone, the screen lit up without me touching it. A flood of notifications, unusual data usage, devices connecting and disconnecting from the Wi-Fi like a revolving door. My hands trembled as I swiped through them. None of it made sense. I thought about pulling the plug from the wall, cutting everything off, but before I could move, the fridge door light clicked on again in the kitchen. That same steady blink. Once, twice, 3 times. Like a signal. I held my breath. Every shadow in the room felt alive. Was it all connected? The fridge, the thermostat, now the speaker? Or was I just losing it? I forced myself out of bed and crept down the hallway. Each step was heavier than the last, like the air itself didn't want me moving forward. The glow from the fridge lit the kitchen in a pale, ghostly hue. The screen still showed that single cursor, blinking steadily, waiting. I whispered, "What do you want from me?" And in the silence that followed, the smart speaker behind me answered. Not static this time, not broken syllables, but a single word, clear as day. Access. My blood ran cold. If you think you're safe in your own home, wait until you hear what happens when the devices start speaking back. Subscribe so you don't miss the next part. By morning, I convinced myself I'd imagined it. Sleep deprivation, stress, anything but what I thought I heard. But the house wouldn't let me forget. The thermostat was the first. I walked into the kitchen and the temperature had shifted again. It read 61 degrees Fahrenheit, though I never touched it. My breath misted in front of me like I was standing outside on a winter morning. Then, the TV. As I poured coffee, the screen in the living room snapped on. Not to the news, not to Netflix, just a flood of color pixels swimming like a broken kaleidoscope. The volume shut up to max before cutting off just as suddenly. I set my mug down with shaking hands. The fridge light blinked. Once, twice, 3 times. Everywhere I turned, that rhythm followed me. By noon, even my phone wasn't safe. Apps closed on their own. The banking app logged me out, then back in without me touching it. Notifications stacked up faster than I could read. Something was crawling through everything I owned. I grabbed my laptop, desperate to trace it, but before the desktop even loaded, my webcam light came on, bright, staring at me. I slammed the lid shut so hard I thought the screen would crack. That's when the smart speaker chimed again. Not static this time, not a voice. Music. A slow piano piece I didn't recognize, each note echoing through the walls like a funeral march. I unplugged it, but the music kept playing. From the kitchen, the fridge speaker, something I didn't even know existed, was carrying the same haunting melody, as if mocking me for thinking I could stop it. My pulse hammered in my ears. "What do you want?" I shouted. The answer came in the form of a new phone notification. Login attempt, Bank of Metro, location unknown. The devices weren't just glitching anymore. They were moving, spreading, like a shadow leaking through every wire, every signal, every screen in my home, and I couldn't shut it out.
That night, I didn't sleep. I couldn't. I sat in the living room with every device unplugged, router shut down, even my phone switched to airplane mode. The house was silent. Too silent. Then, at 3:12 a.m., the smart speaker lit up again. I swear I'd pulled the plug out hours ago, yet there it was, glowing blue like nothing had happened. And then it spoke. Checking balance. Savings account. $12,470 available. My stomach dropped. Transaction history. Pending transfer. Processing. I bolted upright. No, no, no! My voice cracked. I lunged for the speaker, yanked it out of the wall socket again, but the voice didn't stop. It got louder, repeating my bank account details like it was proud of them. I grabbed my phone. Despite airplane mode, the screen lit up instantly. My banking app opened on its own, pages flipping like invisible fingers were swiping across. Numbers drained in real time.
hundreds, then thousands, like a faucet I couldn't turn off. I tried to call the bank, but the call never connected. Instead, a new voice answered, a calm, robotic voice, pretending to be customer support. "Please verify your identity." It was using my bank's exact tone, exact phrasing, but I knew this wasn't them. "Who are you?" I whispered. Silence. Then the fridge door creaked open by itself, spilling pale light across the kitchen tiles. Its screen lit up, a cursor blinking, and words began to type across it slowly, like a message written just for me. "Still trying to fight." My hands trembled so badly I almost dropped my phone. The smart TV flickered on again, showing nothing but static. My laptop, still closed, hummed as if it wanted to wake up. Everywhere I turned, the house was alive, watching, feeding, taking. And I realized I wasn't just losing money. I was losing control. When the voice inside your home starts counting your money out loud, that's not a glitch. Subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter of this nightmare.
I couldn't breathe. The numbers on my phone screen were evaporating, line by line, like someone was scooping out my life savings with a ladle. $12,470, $9,220, $5,780. Each refresh cut deeper into me. I hit redial on the bank, my hands slick with sweat. The line clicked, but instead of ringing, I heard that same robotic calm. "Thank you for calling. Please verify your account." My chest tightened. "This isn't the bank. Who are you?" The voice didn't flinch. "For your security, we will now confirm your balance." And then it started reading my transactions out loud, the exact ones I was watching vanish on my phone. I wanted to scream, but my throat locked up. Every device around me seemed to lean in closer, listening. The TV glitched awake again, its screen filling with lines of code, white text racing too fast to read. My laptop buzzed, vibrating against the desk like it wanted to crawl open. The fridge light blinked, steady, taunting, in that same 3-beat rhythm. Then the worst notification I'd ever seen appeared on my phone. Transfer completed, $0 remaining. Gone. Everything. Years of savings. Wiped out in minutes. I dropped the phone. My knees hit the floor before I even realized I'd fallen. The house hummed louder, like it was alive and satisfied. The smart speaker spoke again, this time softer. "Thank you for your cooperation." I wanted to tear it apart, smash every screen, every wire, but my hands wouldn't move. It was like the devices had stolen more than money. They'd stolen the air out of the room. The fridge screen flickered. New words typed themselves slowly, each letter burning into me. It was never about the money. The temperature plunged again. The lights in the hallway dimmed. Somewhere outside, my smart door lock clicked. And I realized whoever was inside my home network wasn't finished.
What would you do if your savings disappeared while your own house turned against you? Comment below. I spent the next morning sitting on the kitchen floor, back against the counter, staring at the fridge like it was some kind of enemy. Every hum, every flicker of the screen, it all felt like breathing. My phone was dead, my account empty. And still, the house pulsed with quiet menace, every device waiting for my next move. I needed answers. I dragged my laptop out again, ignoring the webcam light that flared to life the moment I opened it. I connected through my neighbor's Wi-Fi, praying the thing inside my house couldn't follow me there. That's when I found it.
stories, threads, entire forums filled with people describing the same nightmare. IoT breaches. Smart devices turned against their owners. Fridges, thermostats, speakers, used as doors for attackers to walk right into people's lives. One post stopped me cold. They don't start with your phone. They start with what you ignore. The fridge, the printer, the thermostat, the weak links. From there, they own everything. I scrolled faster, heart pounding. Solutions buried between panic testimonies. Firewalla, a small device that sits between your router and the world, watching every packet of traffic like a guard dog. Bitdefender Box, a shield for smart homes, locking down IoT gadgets before they can be turned against you. And then one that kept popping up. Router-level VPNs, encrypting everything before it even left the house. My hand shook as I ordered one of each. Firewalla, Bitdefender Box, a subscription to a VPN service I'd never thought I'd need. Overnight shipping, soonest I could get them. But as the confirmation emails rolled in, the smart speaker lit up again on its own. This time, no static, no whispers, just laughter. Not full human laughter. Something warped, broken, digital, like someone feeding a scream through a blender. I ripped the plug from the wall. The fridge light blinked 3 times in response. That rhythm again. And in that moment, I knew it wasn't waiting for me to protect myself tomorrow. It was already here, already in control. And the next move wasn't mine to make. When you realize your home network isn't just yours anymore, the real terror begins. Subscribe so you don't miss what happens when the intruder shows their hand.
The packages arrived the next day. Brown boxes stacked on my porch, tiny lifeboats on a sinking ship. I tore into them with shaking hands. Firewalla, Bitdefender Box, cables and manuals spilling across the table. I didn't care about the setup, didn't care about the instructions. I just needed something, anything, between me and whatever had wormed its way inside. I plugged in the Firewalla first. A single light blinked red, then green, then steady blue. It began scanning, lines of traffic appearing in the dashboard app. At first, it was normal. My laptop, my phone, the smart TV. Then I saw it. Samsung Smart Refrigerator Unsecured Access. My stomach dropped. It wasn't just part of the network. It was the entry point. The log stretched back weeks. Failed attempts, successful connections, hidden tunnels opened and closed like secret doors. The first intrusion had been days ago, maybe longer, and I hadn't noticed. I clicked deeper into the log. There it was, plain as day. Unauthorized lateral movement. From the fridge to the thermostat, from the thermostat to the TV, from the TV to my phone. A chain, a path, like someone walking step by step through every device I owned. Then I saw something that made my chest lock up. Recent activity, audio capture, video capture, file transfers. The realization hit like ice water. They weren't just draining my account. They'd been watching me, listening, recording. As if on cue, the fridge screen lit up, not with a cursor this time, but with my own voice. A playback of me whispering last night. What do you want from me? The words echoed through the kitchen in my own tone, distorted and broken, looping like a cruel joke. I slammed the fridge door shut. The speaker across the room turned itself on, repeating the same phrase back at me in perfect unison. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? It was all a game, a trap, and I'd walked right into it. The last log entry on the firewall flashed before my eyes. Escalating privileges. Next target, door lock. And just as I read it, the lock on my front door clicked. If your fridge became the doorway, what's next?
The sound of the door lock echoed louder than it should have, a sharp metallic click that rattled through my chest. I froze. I'd installed that lock myself. Smart, connected, convenient. I could unlock it with my phone, with my voice, a simple piece of tech that was supposed to make life easier. Now it was in their hands. The app on my phone lit up without me touching it. Door unlocked. I lunged for the knob, twisted. It turned freely. I slammed it shut again, threw the deadbolt, then remembered there was no deadbolt. I'd trusted the smart lock to handle everything. Another click. The lock turned by itself. I staggered back. My lungs felt too small for my body. I grabbed a chair, wedged it against the door, heart hammering so loud I could barely hear the fridge humming behind me. The fridge screen flickered to life. Lines of text rolled across it, fast and taunting, like someone typing directly into my kitchen. Money was never the prize. You left the door wide open. Now we walk through. The smart TV lit up again, static filling the room in harsh white light. My laptop woke up without being touched, its camera light glowing like an unblinking eye. And through the smart speaker, a distorted voice whispered from every corner of the house. Open, open, open. The door lock clicked again. This time, I heard the hinge strain. I pushed harder against the chair, but the wood creaked under the pressure. My pulse thundered in my ears. Then silence. No humming, no static, no clicks. Just stillness. I didn't dare move. Sweat dripped down my back, cold and heavy. My hand tightened around my phone, but the screen went black. No signal, no Wi-Fi. Just dead. Then, slowly, the fridge door swung open by itself. The light inside blinked, once, twice, 3 times. That rhythm again. On the screen, one final line appeared. This house belongs to us now. The chair at the front door shifted, not from me, from the other side. And that's when I understood. I wasn't fighting a glitch or a thief on the other end of a screen. They were here, in my home. And the door was already opening. When the digital crosses into the physical, no screen can save you. Subscribe before the final chapter, because you need to know how this ends.
The door finally stopped moving. The chair leaned awkwardly against it, still trembling from the last shove. I stood in the middle of the kitchen, my own house breathing around me, waiting for whatever was on the other side to step through. But no one did. Instead, every device in the room powered down at once. The fridge light went black, the TV snapped off, the speaker silent. Even the thermostat reset to its default screen, a calm blue glow that looked almost innocent. The quiet was worse than the chaos. I crept forward, hand hovering over the fridge handle. Its screen flickered once more, as though to give me one final message. Just 4 words typed slow, deliberate. We already have you. And then it went dark for good. The next day was a blur of damage control. Hours on the phone with my bank, locked out of accounts, passwords reset, fraud claims filed. But no matter how many forms I signed, I couldn't ignore the truth. The money was gone. The accounts drained. My identity scattered through places I'd never see. But it wasn't just about the loss. It was about how easily it had happened. A fridge. That's where it began. Not my phone, not my laptop, not even my bank app, just a kitchen appliance I'd never thought twice about. It shipped with its factory settings intact, connected to my Wi-Fi without protection, and I left it that way. That's all they needed. From the fridge to the thermostat, from the thermostat to the TV, from the TV to my phone, and from there into my entire life. The logs I pulled from the firewall confirmed it. The hacker hadn't broken in through brute force. They'd walked through an open door. And every device I owned had quietly welcomed them inside. I've since locked it all down. A hardware firewall now sits between me and the world. Every signal scanned, every strange packet stopped. Bitdefender Box monitors my smart devices, making sure another fridge incident never happens again. And at the router level, a VPN shields my traffic. No more broadcasting my life like an open book. None of it can erase what I lost, but it can stop me from losing everything again. And if you're listening to this, staring at your own glowing devices in the dark, wondering if they're as harmless as they look, don't make the mistake I made. Never leave your smart home unsecured. Change the factory passwords. Update the firmware. Protect your network with real defenses. Because if you don't secure them, someone else will. And when they do, your fridge might not just open your door, it might open your life. And the scariest part isn't that my fridge opened my bank account. It's that it could happen to anyone, even you. If you want more stories like this and the tools to survive them, hit subscribe. Because the next digital nightmare might already be plugged in at your home. Which part of the story hits you hard? Comment below.